Some people move easily through social life. They collect connections, join conversations, and gain energy from being around others. After social events, they often feel full, alive, and ready for more. Other people move differently. They pause longer before speaking, choose fewer connections, and leave the same space feeling tired, even when nothing clearly went wrong. The difference is not always visible, but it is deeply felt. From the outside, the first group often looks more successful, more social, more normal. But psychology tells a quieter story. This is not a story about fixing yourself or becoming more social. It is a story about understanding what actually happens when different minds enter the same social space. There is a lesson most of us learn very early in life. If you have many friends, you are seen as open, confident, and socially capable. If you have fewer friends, people quietly assume something is missing. This judgment is rarely direct. It appears in small comments, gentle suggestions, and questions that sound harmless on the surface. Why don't you come out more? You should meet more people. Society doesn't just value connection, it ranks it. Being surrounded by people is often read as success, while being selective is read as a problem. Over time, that ranking becomes internal. You begin to wonder why social life feels heavier for you, why connection seems to require more effort, even when you genuinely want it. TS Psychology pauses here, not to reassure you, but to slow the moment down. Because when we slow this experience down, the same patterns begin to appear again and again. It often starts with how you experience conversations. Most people enter conversations and stay inside them, hearing words, responding, and moving on when the moment ends. For them, social interaction is something that passes through quickly. You experience conversations differently. You don't just hear what is said, you notice how it is said. Tone, timing, and subtle shifts in energy matter to you. In group settings, while others are talking, part of your attention is quietly scanning the room. You notice who feels uncomfortable, who is holding back, and who changed their expression for just a second. Even when no one else reacts, your mind registers the change. This is not anxiety, and it is not overthinking. It is deep social processing. Your mind naturally collects more social information than average. This deeper awareness often gives you insight. You understand people without them needing to explain much. But it also means your mind is rarely at rest during interaction. Even when nothing bad happens, your system is working. And when the mind works this way, energy is spent differently. If you recognize yourself in this part, take a moment and stay with the video. The next patterns may explain even more about how your mind works. Because you process social information deeply, interaction costs you more energy. You don't simply show up and react in the moment. You monitor yourself, adjust your tone, and stay aware of how others feel and how you are being received. Psychology calls this high relational load. It allows you to respond with care and sensitivity. But it also means you're carrying more weight in every interaction. After a long conversation, others may feel fine and ready to continue their day. You may feel mentally tired, even if the interaction was warm and positive. This can be confusing, especially when you like people and enjoy meaningful connection. The difference is not ability. It is cost. It's not that you can't socialize. It's that you pay a higher price. Over time, your system begins to adapt. You limit how often you engage, not because you dislike people, but because you need recovery. Slowly, without a clear decision, your social circle becomes smaller. There are moments when you enter a room and feel uneasy without knowing why. Nothing is openly wrong, no one is being rude, and yet something feels heavy. The discomfort arrives before any clear thought. This is not about judging others. It is about how your system reacts to emotional mismatch. When words don't match tone, or energy doesn't match expression, your attention stays alert. You don't analyze the situation or label anyone. Your body simply works harder to stay present. What feels neutral to others feels demanding to you. For many people, this effort goes unnoticed. For you, it is tiring. Not because others are fake, but because inconsistency requires more internal work. So you step back, not out of rejection or superiority, but because silence costs you less than staying engaged in emotional noise. This quietly shapes which environments feel safe enough to remain in. Over time, your nervous system begins to remember patterns. It remembers crowded rooms, forced conversations, and moments when you stayed longer than your energy allowed. These experiences are stored quietly, without words. The next time you are invited into a similar situation, your body responds before your mind does. You feel tired before the event begins. Your chest tightens slightly, and your energy drops without a clear reason. From the outside, this can look like avoidance. People may think you are antisocial or unwilling to try. TS psychology names it differently. Avoidance is not weakness. It is memory. Your body learned this response to protect balance, not to isolate you. All of these patterns lead to the final trait. You don't connect easily, but when you do, you connect deeply. You don't need many relationships. You need real ones. This is not pride. It is capacity. Your system cannot afford casual connection, so it chooses carefully. That is why your circle is smaller. Not because you are closed betastafanuman, but because you are narrow by design. Narrow does not mean broken, and careful does not mean afraid. You are not bad at connection. You simply do not play it lightly. Some people connect fast, others connect carefully, and both are human. TES psychology does not ask you to change these traits. It asks you to understand them. When you see your social life through this lens, having fewer friends stops feeling like a failure. It becomes a reflection of how your mind works. There may be seasons when your circle remains small, and that does not mean it will stay that way forever. Depth does not reject connection. It waits for the right conditions. Sometimes, the most balanced form of belonging is not found in numbers, but in resonance. And when you stop measuring yourself by how many people you know, you begin to notice something else. How deeply you are able to be present when the right people appear. If this way of understanding yourself feels helpful, you're welcome to stay with this channel. Here, we explore psychology slowly, through simple English and quiet understanding. You don't need to rush. Just come back when it feels right. Learn English through psychology. Slow, clear, human.